Welcome back to Whole Food Plant People, day 3 of our series, Weight Loss, Nutrition, and Exercise. Let's look at what I eat in a day, how I prepare it into proper proportions, how I can get all the nutrition that I need from just whole foods. So grab a friend and let's dig in.
By the time we're done cooking and packing, these whole foods will make up individual portion sizes that meet my requirements as a combination of Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen and Dr. Esselstyn's recommendations on preventing and reversing heart disease.
The whole food groups I'm looking to target today are beans and berries and fruit, cruciferous leafies and other vegetables, whole grains, nuts and seeds, herbs and spices, flaxseed, nutritional yeast, water, and exercise, and of course, a whole lot of love. I placed links to some of these food and kitchen items that I use in the description below. When you click and buy these products, Amazon sends me a commission, no extra cost to you.
3 1/2 cup servings of beans we made from scratch in the Instant Pot. Check out my video on how to do this and the link below to buy your own Instant Pot.
1/4 cup of fresh grapes going into my raw oat cereal. Check out my video on how to make that delicious food. I'll choose a combination of 3 whole fruits or 3 cups of fruit to either eat whole or add to my recipes. I'll be sure to chop these cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, 40 minutes ahead of time. Watch my video on why that's so important for our brains and to fight cancer. Today I'll be getting 3 servings of 1 cup each of leafy steamed greens. If I have heart disease, I want to go for 6. Steamed leafy greens, Dr. Esselstyn's favorite and one of mine now. Check out my video on how to properly steam greens. And since these are also technically cruciferous, I'm going to chop them 40 minutes ahead as well. A lot of my delicious flavors and scents in my meals I'll be preparing today will come from these other vegetable group. 2 1/2 cups will go into my body today, but we'll have leftovers. Shallots, potatoes, mushrooms, parsnip, eggplant, yellow squash, carrots from a local farmer, and bell peppers of different colors. Let's talk about oats. For whole grains, I'm looking for 3 servings, 1/2 cup raw or a whole cup cooked. That's because when we cook them, they absorb a lot of water and it becomes bigger. If I had heart disease, I would stay clear of nuts, per Dr. Esselstyn's recommendations. Otherwise, 1/4 cup, call it a day. Seeds are part of the nuts and seeds group, also included in that total 1/4 cup for the day. Black seeds are my favorite. I'll show you where I order those in a link below. Let's take a look at herbs and spices. I use a combination of cracked pepper, organic everything, rosemary or oregano, garlic powder, crushed red pepper, cayenne pepper. I have to watch how much I put in because my wife doesn't like it too spicy. Dr. Greger gives this next food its own food group, flaxseed. But it has to be ordered as ground flaxseed, otherwise it passes right through our bodies without giving us the nutrition that we need. So I'm going to put a link for you in the description down below so you can find the same flaxseed we buy. And the next time you're making a bowl of oatmeal, I highly recommend sprinkling a little bit of ground flaxseed meal in there. It is delicious. Adds a really nice texture. Nutritional yeast is my favorite way to get vitamin B12 in the form of cyanocobalamin recommended by Dr. Greger. I'll place a link in the description for that as well. And finally, last but not least, water. Notice my jug is full. That's how it starts the day. It ends the day empty. Nobody's perfect. I don't get a perfect nutrient count on every food group, 1/2 cup of this, 1/4 teaspoon of that every single day. I try to get as close as I possibly can, drink as much water as I can, live a healthy, exercising, meditative, loving lifestyle. So let's take all these whole food plants, make them up into something we can eat for a week, and put them into little container sizes so I can grab something when I'm busy. This is not as difficult as it looks. I'm going to take a whole lot of the stuff, chop it up, put it in this pan, throw some water, and cover it and put it in the oven. I've got my cutting board and my knife. First thing I'm going to do is chop the cruciferous leafies and the cruciferous vegetables because they need 40 minutes for the myrosinase to make sulforaphane, which protects our brains, protects us from cancer, and other things. Check out my video on that. So let's get chopping.
You can eat the stems of rainbow chard. Just throw them right into the pot. This is red kale. Delicious and very beautiful to put into a plate. It's important to feed our eyes as well as our mouths. Imagine that you can have one meal that satisfies nearly all of your whole food plant food groups as recommended by the experts. And you could just take out a portion, bring it to lunch, eat it, and feel amazing. Huge bowl of leafy greens we just chopped. Now I'm going to dump them right into the pot. I'm not going to steam them this time. What do you think of that? Carrots. Big chunks of carrots. I like to have big chunks of something I can chew when I throw it into my stew or my roasted vegetables. Throw them right on top of the rest of it. Here we go. Look at the size of that carrot. Yellow squash, absolutely delicious in these baked oven meals. And look how large I make the pieces. They're big, so that when I go to eat, I get a bite of something. Potatoes. I've heard so many diets say, stay away from potatoes, you won't lose weight. That's baloney. Just keep your proportions in check. These are whole foods. These are a whole food. I throw them in with my mixed vegetables. I don't just eat potatoes all day long. I mix them up with my carrots and my broccoli and everything else. Some chopped potatoes. Throw them in. Another quick thing to remember, if you're suffering, if you're hurting, you're thinking this is just so much to take in, how can I make this change? Just remember, baby steps. There have been so many people who have come before you who have tried to make this change and felt like they were suffering too. I can tell you that since I've changed my diet, my brain fog has started to disappear. Just give it a shot, and eventually you may see things more clearly too. Lion's mane mushroom. It's fuzzy, it's fancy, it's food, and it's delicious. I absolutely love lion's mane mushroom. Foods you may have avoided, if you're anything like me. The parsnip. This thing is sweet and delicious when it's cooked. It's amazing. I can't believe I didn't eat more parsnips for my entire life. Get rid of that little thing over there. Bam, 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 bam. Parsnip. Look at that. Parsnip, throw them in. It's easy. Giant organic eggplant. Okay, it's not that giant, but it's eggplant, and it's organic. And here again, I just chop it. I slice it and chop it into edible sized pieces. Like so, and like so. These are pretty decent sizes. They're more like slices. But what happens when they're so thin like this, they end up kind of melting in the pot. So I want them a little bit thicker. I'll show you what I do. I take them like this. Get myself a good chunk here. Look at that. That's a big a chunk. Then I cut it into fours. I've got big chunk. When I go to eat something, I can get something to bite into. I don't want to make myself miserable. I want to make myself happy, eating delicious foods. And broccoli, one of the other cruciferous vegetables that needs to be chopped 40 minutes ahead of time, or just eat it raw. I'm not 100% sure of how small Dr. Greger suggests you chop these, but I'm going to chop each one of them at least in half so that the morosinase can start to create sulforaphane, which is good for our bodies, for our minds, and for preventing cancer. Same thing with cauliflower, another cruciferous vegetable. I'm going to chop this 40 minutes ahead of time. Look at that. That's a beautiful food. These are beautiful foods.
Why wasn't I eating these in my entire life? Instead, I was grabbing to-go burgers and beers and wings and candy and pies and all this other garbage, which really left me feeling empty, hungry, fat, heavy, and miserable. This stuff makes me feel amazing. And that's all I want to feel, is amazing. Now, of course, it's a little difficult to measure exactly what I'm going to be eating when I have an enormous pot of food like, look at that. That is just amazing nutrients. But the point is that I can look at my bowl and say, looks like I've got about 1 cup, because I'll measure 1 cup or 2 cups. And say, wow, this is probably about maybe 1/4 cup broccoli, mostly other vegetables. So I have added approximately 1/4 of the size cruciferous vegetables compared to all the other vegetables. So when I go grab a serving for myself later, and I have 1 cup of this food, I can say I've had 1/4 cup of cruciferous vegetables and 3/4 cups of other vegetables. And depending on how many leafy vegetables are in there, I can add those in too. Here's a couple beautiful colored bell peppers, green and orange. Here's how I open up and slice a bell pepper. There's the top. I put my thumb in it. I break it open. Kapow! I pull the whole thing out. I pull it out. It has seeds and all. It comes right out. Put my finger in there. Tap out the rest of the seeds. Or if I want to eat the seeds, I'll leave them in. Whatever I want to do. And then I slice it. Kabam, 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 boom, kabang, kabing, kabang, kazoom. There you go. There's a whole bunch of peppers. And I'm going to lay them in here really nicely so they look pretty. I personally think it's really important to make the food look beautiful. It starts out beautiful. Why not make it look beautiful on the plate? So I just use this as a little bit of a Bob Rossian artistic time for myself. I put a little pepper here, a little pepper here, and a little pepper there to give them a friend. No mistakes, just happy vegetables. So there's really no way for me to know how much flaxseed I'm going to get if I sprinkle some on the top, but I'm just going to say that I had my flaxseed portion for the day if I eat some of this food and I sprinkled a generous amount of flaxseed on it. The same goes for nutritional yeast and black seed and things like that. So there you have it. That's what I eat in a day. That's how I get all of my nutrition with just whole food plants. It's incredible. I know. I didn't invent it. It was here when we first got here on this planet. And now I'm coming back to it. I'm tired of fast food. I'm tired of garbage packaged foods. And I'm not touching another animal product for the rest of my life. Dr. Esselstyn taught me why. Dr. Greger gave me a list of foods to try. And I'm trying to make this easy and fun and delicious. For every one of you who are watching, I really appreciate your support. Please let me know what your comments are. In the description below, there's links to the foods and the equipment that I'm using. Okay, it's finally done and it is steaming. Willy beaming. Let's get a little taste. See how the veggies are? The potatoes are soft. It looks like 420 was the perfect heat. And I'm going to assume that if I had started it at 420, it probably would have taken about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, because I had a lot of water in here. And it took a while for that to boil and then to steam and then to cook all these vegetables. And the eggplant and such take a while to really cook and get soft. This is it. And that's what I eat in a day. This is day 3 of 30 of my weight loss, nutrition, and lifestyle balance series. When I eat a bowl of oats with some grapes and a couple banana slices, and maybe have a couple of sides of beans along the way, and then I eat this meal that we just made today, I get all of the nutrients I need, according to experts, on my whole food plant-based diet. Thanks for watching Whole Food Plant People.
Are you going?
Yeah.
It's delish.
Yeah!